Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. Today I'm going to talk about the topic of marriage and Bazi astrology. A lot of my clients come to me and rather than asking whether or not they are going to find a long-term partner or find themselves in a stable relationship, they'd ask, when am I going to get married? Do you see marriage in my chart? Now, in the old times, this was fairly simple to determine because, 500 years ago or whatever, you couldn't just have a long-term relationship with the opposite sex and not be married. So if there was a relationship indicated in the chart, this was likely to be a marriage. You had two options. Either you were going to get married or you were not going to get married. There was nothing in between. Nowadays, things have changed a lot. Yeah, so you don't have to be married and have a marriage certificate in order to have a long-term, stable and committed relationship. There are many, many things in between. There are gray areas. There are long-term casual relationships. Yeah, it's still a long-term relationship. It's still a stable relationship. But nowadays, the two partners determine the framework within which they want to conduct their relationship. And it's not just a marriage certificate. So this is why it becomes very difficult these days to predict that someone is going to get married for sure. Yeah. A Bazi analysis can tell you whether or not there's a chance for a long-lasting relationship, whether or not you then want to formalize this relationship, or whether you're just going to go with the flow, see how it goes, and maybe just get married 10 years later. That's also fine, but Bazi cannot tell you this. The Bazi can predict the relationship itself, not the form it takes. It can show you whether or not there's going to be difficulties, whether or not there are going to be struggles, whether or not there will be a breakup. But the actual paper, we cannot predict. So for all those of you who are single and want to get married, think about that question in a slightly different way. Yeah, think about it in terms of just having a long-term, stable, committed relationship. That makes for a much better question when you go into a Bazi reading than marriage, because there I cannot say for sure. The relationship itself is fairly simple to predict, but then again, what you make of it, that is all up to you. So this is just something to clarify a lot of the questions that clients usually bring to me. And since we are now living in the modern world and have been living in the modern world for quite some time, maybe we should also adjust our mindset just a little bit and get away from that very, very strict sense that there's either marriage or just being single. Yeah. All right. So if you have any questions about relationships, if you're single and you would like to know whether or not you're actually finding a relationship and what it takes for you to do so, then get in touch with me. My contact information is down below in the notes.